Hello friends, this video on alternating currents part 7 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 6 before going ahead with part 7. So before we go ahead to inductive circuit, I would like to discuss something new before you, that is called phasor diagrams. So what are phasor diagrams? The word is new to you, right? Now, as I told you that in case of the resistive circuit, you saw just now that the relationship between voltage and current was in phase. The voltage and current were in phase, and but this was just the resistive circuit. Now, as we go ahead, we will talk about complicated AC circuits where you will have other circuit elements like inductors, capacitors, or combination of any of them. And it is seen that the relationship between voltage and current is not the same in each of them. So, depending upon the combination of circuit elements present in a circuit, the relationship between voltage and current will change. So, we found out that there was one way to represent the voltage current relationship, and that was the graphical method, which I displayed you some time back. I told that okay, voltage and current are in phase with each other in case of a resistive circuit. So this is how your graph will look like, right? I mentioned you a graph of this sort, that let us suppose if this is my voltage, so this would be my current, because they are in phase and maximum value of current is slightly lesser than that of voltage, right? This is how I represented it. So that is graphical representation is one way of representation. So we found out another way. So another way was invented, and that was called phasor diagrams. So relationship between voltage and current is also represented with the help of phasor diagrams. So before we know what are phasor diagrams, we have to know what are phasors. What are those objects whom we are calling as phasors, right? So it is nothing but a way of representation. Like there were two ways of representation, as I mentioned. One is graphical by graphs, and the other one is phasor diagrams. So now let us study what are phasors. What is that object which we call as a phasor? A phasor is a vector capable of rotating about the origin with angular velocity omega. Okay, so this is how we define a phasor. It is a vector which is capable of rotating about the origin with angular velocity omega. So how is this vector which is capable of rotating will help us to represent the relationship between voltage and current? So we will look at it in this way. Let us suppose if I say that this is my alternating voltage. This is how I will represent an alternating voltage graphically, right? So correspondingly, if I want to plot a phasor, let us suppose this is my phasor vector. I consider any instant of time. Say I am considering this time, which corresponds to omega t1, right? Now I want to represent the same thing graphically in the form of phasors. So phasor is a vector which is capable of rotating. So how much it will rotate? Whatever is the time, right? Because it says that it rotates with angular velocity omega, right? So let us suppose if this is my phasor, this angle would represent omega t1. That means as you keep moving here on the curve, the way it keeps rotating like this. So that means its angle of rotation will keep changing depending upon your position on the plot, right? So, and what about its magnitude? So the vertical component of the phasor represents the sinusoidal varying quantity. That means the vertical component. What would be the vertical component of this phasor? This is the vertical component. So this vertical component represents the sinusoidally varying quantity. Now, right now I am talking about alternating voltage. So V is equal to Vm sine omega t. So that means this vertical component represents the instantaneous value of current. That means at this instant of time, what is the value of the voltage? At this instant of time, what is the value of voltage, right? So this is giving you, the vertical component is giving you the instantaneous value of the voltage. And what about the magnitude? The magnitude of this phasor will tell you the peak value. Magnitude means the length of the phasor will tell you the peak value. That means it points here. So this point will correspond to this point. That means this represents the peak value at this instant of time. At this instant of time, this is the maximum value. Similarly, after some time, let us suppose that if I don't consider this point, instead of considering this omega t1 point on the sine curve, if I consider some other point, let us suppose if I consider this point. So let us suppose this represents omega t2. So then what will happen? Here also it will get rotated little more, and this will be omega t2. The length of the vector, that is the magnitude of this phasor, will represent the peak value at this point. That means at this instant of time, this is the maximum value. And this vertical component will represent V, that is the instantaneous value of velocity, right? So as you keep moving like this on the curve, similarly this phasor keeps rotating in this way. So this is your phasor diagram. Now how does the phasor diagram helps you? Because it is not always very convenient to represent relationships or to represent complicated relationships between voltage and current with the help of graphs. What do I mean by complicated relationships? That you will understand when we talk about complicated AC circuits, where you have more than two circuit elements in the same circuit. So there it becomes quite confusing or sometimes quite cumbersome to represent things on graph. So that is where we find that phasor diagram looks easier. So that is how phasor diagram came into picture. So now here, if you look at these two diagrams which are shown here you can see that how this phasor diagram corresponds to this graphical representation. You can see that as this red dot keeps moving over the curve, your red dot keeps moving along the circumference of this circle. That means as you keep moving your point on the graph, similarly your phasor will keep directing in different angles, right? So this is how you represent. That means this point, if you look at this point represents to this particular point. Similarly this represents to this point. Similarly this represents to this point, and so on, right? So I hope you have understood what are phasors. So now that you have understood what are phasors, we will look at the phasor diagrams for the resistive circuit, because the resistive circuit is something which we have already studied, and we know the voltage current relationship for a resistive current, and we have also plotted the graph for it. So if you plot the voltage current relationship for if you plot the phasor diagram for a resistive circuit, it would look somewhat like this. So first let us look at the graphical representation, because we are familiar with it. So this is your voltage and this one is your current. Since they are in phase, therefore their minimum and maximum points are at same instants of time, right? So this is your graphical representation. Now you represent it in terms of phasors. So let us first plot the voltage. So this is my voltage. So corresponding to the voltage, I have drawn a phasor whose vertical component, that is this component. So this is my voltage, the blue line, right? Not only this much, the entire thing from the origin is the voltage, and the vertical component of voltage represents the instantaneous value of voltage, that is Vm sine omega t1. Because in order to represent phasors, we have to consider a certain point on this graph, right? Because corresponding to that point only we can draw phasors. So here the point which we have considered is corresponding to omega t1. So here also I have for omega t1, this is the voltage. For omega t1, this is the current. So both are overlapping because they are in phase with each other, right? Since if they were not in phase, then this I vector and V vector would have not coincided with each other, right? So this is my V, this is my I. The only thing is that the peak value for V is greater than that of I. You can see that the magnitude of the phasor V is greater than that of I, right? Since V is greater, so your V sine omega t1 is greater than Im sine omega t1, right? So this is how we represent phasor diagrams, or this is how we plot phasor diagrams for a pure resistive circuit, right? Things will become even clearer as we talk about inductive circuit and capacitive circuit. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.